everybody, and welcome to the PlayVS Rocket League CHSAA Championship. My name is Bass from the Past, and join alongside me here today is the lovely Rome DMV. And Rome, we have got a battle on our hands, my friend, a best of 7 to determine it all. Who is going to walk away the Colorado State champion? I'm excited to get into this one. How are you doing on this fine Friday, my friend?
I'm doing absolutely incredible, and I know that both of these teams are doing even better because guess what? Rocky Mountain High School and Fort Collins High School, they have both been battling it out all through the month of November to get to this point. Only 2 teams out of 166 were able to make it to December, and they are going to be the final 2 here today.
I am very excited to get into this one, and as you guys can see on your screen, we had many teams try, 166 in total. 32 made it to playoffs, but only 2 made it to the grand finals. That is RMHS versus Fort Collins High School TPS team. They battled all the way through a bunch of best of 5s, but now we end with a best of 7. Add an extra 2 games onto the series, and well, that could make this one a little bit more spicy because there's a little bit of history here, Rome, like we were talking about before we got on air today.
Oh yes, most definitely. Both of these teams have faced off before. They faced off October 28th of this year. That did not go the way of Fort Collins, unfortunately. They lost 3-0 to this Rocky Mountain squad. Now, this Rocky Mountain squad, let's just put this out there. They are no pushovers. This squad is the real deal for a reason, and they are led by Vigil, and I think you got a little bit of something to say about him.
Oh, absolutely. I came into this one, knowing a couple of the players and recognizing some names, but Vigil's the one that stood out to me far and away. He's a very talented player that's played around the semi-pro scene in Rocket League for quite some time, and the crazy thing is that he's still in high school. There's a lot of young talent in Rocket League, including the players that we've got here today. We've got 2 incredible squads which are going to be battling it out up against each other. On the side of Rocky Mountain High School, it's going to be Vigil, Grade E, and Not Bulkerman, led by their coach Chance, and then on the other side for Fort Collins High School, it's going to be the One Buddha, Down Coast Bacon, and Epic Gamer, led by their coach in Taylor. I'm excited to get into this one because it's a battle. There's no 2 ways about it. These guys have been slugging it out against each other through 160 teams. Rome, to say that they had to go through the gauntlet might just be an understatement.
Oh yes, big time, and both of these teams to finish the way that they did, with Rocky Mountain finishing 24-2, and then you got Fort Collins finishing at 21-4 to come into this tournament, this final 32 teams that were able to make it. It was an all-out war. Let's just say that all 32 teams that made it, they are here for a reason. And let's just say this, Fort Collins, they have a very good chance of upsetting this squad today. Let me tell you the reason why, though. Coming into this 32 team bracket, first of all, they faced off against the 27th seed. They beat them 4-0 in games. Then they faced off against the 11th seed. They went 4-3, so they went overtime with that team, but they were able to come out victorious. Then they did face the 3rd overall seed in this tournament. They were able to beat them 4-0. That is right, 4-0. Then in the semifinals, they faced off against the 2nd overall seed, and they beat them 4-1. Now they got to go up against the number 1 overall seed. This is going to be a very, very spicy situation.
Yeah, the big thing is that Rocket League is a game of momentum. We talk about it constantly. They may not necessarily have the momentum directly from the win that they had, but they're going to have some confidence. You take down the 2 and 3 seed, all of a sudden you're looking, okay, it's 1 seed higher than that. Is that really all that difficult? Well, they're going to have to find out. Like we said, it's a best of 7 between these 2 teams, so they have a little bit of time for some breathing room here, Rome, but as you and I talk about a lot on Cats, you don't necessarily want to get too complacent here. These first couple games could really set the tone for the entirety of the series.
Oh yeah, big time. And hey, listen, you don't want those games to go straight up 2-0 early on to the side of Rocky Mountain, simply because this squad coming into this finals today, they have not lost 1 game. They have beaten every single team 4-0 coming into this final. So that is a testament to this team's overall excellence. They've shown it on the offensive end, the defensive end, even going back to the fall 2020 championship for Colorado last year with this same roster. They were able to do incredible things. They ended up going to that championship game. It ended up going to an overtime, game 7, 0-0 overtime. It went 4 minutes into overtime, not just that. And then finally, Vigil was able to put one in the back of the net for the Rocky Mountain squad. So they've shown that they've got the ice when it can go to that 3-3 game situation. So, hey, listen, if you're the side of Fort Collins, do not let the Rocky Mountain squad get off to an early lead.
That's the big thing here, is that they have to be very careful here. RMHS are the #1 seed for a very good reason. They are extremely threatening, and once they get that momentum, they just kind of run away with it throughout a series. So if they can avoid that here, if Fort Collins can get an early game somewhere within the first couple of games, there's a chance we see a good back and forth here in this series, but only time will tell. Like we said, a best of 7 that's going to be determined by the first to 4, basically. You guys aren't familiar with how that works, that's exactly how it goes. First team to get to 4 wins is going to take this championship, and to be honest, it really is one of these things where you never really know when that's going to come. Yes, a best of 7, usually if you get to 3 games, you're probably going to take that 4th as well, but that's what I like about a long series. You get enough time that a team can build some momentum, start to figure out how their opponents are going to play. When you've got coaching on both sides of the squad here, okay, you go down 0-3, take a quick timeout, talk to your teammates, and try and figure out what's going on here, and then make a comeback, and that's what you love to see here. And in an elongated series like this, we really could see some upsets, we could see some up and downs for both teams, but all I'm really looking for here today, Rome, is just some excellent Rocket League.
Oh yeah, and I'm guessing that we are definitely going to be seeing that, especially with these two teams, their records coming into today, everything that they've accomplished so far. I gotta say, I'm extremely excited to see mainly the superstars stand out, because we all know that in high school, no matter what sport it is, you can name any sport. High school is where you really start to separate from the pack and show that superstar status that you can acquire, moving on to that collegiate level and other things that we've seen so many times in the past. So I'm really going to be looking for those standout superstar performances and players today and see who's going to be getting that MVP.
100% here. It could be Vigil. We come in here with his name in our mouths, but the reality is I always like to have players who you don't necessarily recognize here. And as much as we do recognize some of the players in Grade E, Volkerman, Buddha, Downcoast Bacon, and Epic Gamer, they're not necessarily as set in stone yet. They've got a little bit of wiggle room to try and impress us and impress you guys at home. And we're going to have to find out if they can do exactly that. Just getting set up here for game #1 of this best of 7. But when we hit the pitch, it's going to be electric here. And I know we've talked about this a lot, Rome, but just to sort of further emphasize this, how important is it to try and sort of set the tone going into game #1?
Oh, extremely important, especially when it comes to Fort Collins. You know, they faced off against this team before. They lost 0-3 game count to this squad in a best of 5. So right now, they want to come in and immediately show this squad, this Rocky Mountain team, that they are not messing around today, that they are coming for that crown, and letting Rocky Mountain know that they need to be on their heels and on their P's and Q's, because I think that Fort Collins has what it takes, and I think they have the confidence after taking down the 3rd and 2nd seed in such dominating fashion to be able to come here today and prove an incredible upset and prove everybody wrong.
We're going to have to find out here if they can try and get this upset done. It's going to be something special, but the teams are just getting ready now. It looks like we're just about to hop into match #1 here. Like we said, for Fort Collins High School, this is a very important first match. They do not want to let Rocky Mountain High School run away with this one, but on the other side of the coin, Rocky Mountain High School, they'd probably like to run away with this one. They don't want any sort of contest here in this grand final. Like we said, a best of 7 to determine it all. The winner of this, the CHSAA champions here. And oh my, looks like we're about to start. Game #1 in this best of 7 underway. Let's get into this one, Rome. This is going to be a battle, and it's a battle to determine the Colorado State champions.
Oh yeah, Rocky Mountain versus Fort Collins. Who is going to be able to come out victorious? I am looking for fast starts right now. See who's going to be getting aggressive on that offensive end. Is Vigil going to be coming out hot? These players, they're at LAN. It's not online. Everything is good to go. So no excuses today from anybody, as you already see the shot coming in from Grady, but is going to be able to save it out by Down. Going to be flipping this one on over to the side of Rocky Mountain.
And just a tentative back and forth here, but here's an opportunity shot, not on target, just a little bit off. But TPS and Fort Collins having a chance here. Not quite able to put a shot on target that's all that threatening, but the fact that they are getting the pressure very early on to this game is a good sign. Like we said, Rome, this team needed to come out the gates firing, and they've done exactly that. Multiple shots on target already. That one, though, not quite enough. Vigil going to clear it out to the side and alleviate some pressure, but a really strong start, especially for Fort Collins, who need this momentum. Oh, and they need a goal. Not right there, but they're trying their best.
Oh my goodness, Vigil was almost able to, he perfectly was able to get that save right there, and that was exactly what Rocky Mountain needed because like you said, the offensive pressure coming in from this Fort Collins squad already has been absolutely immaculate, but I must say the defense has been great to match, but there it is, Vigil able to get the first goal of this championship. Beautiful, beautiful stuff.
That's just a great touch into the backboard and immediately getting the read for the double touch there. And that's sometimes the issue for a lot of these teams who start off this aggressive. Fort Collins looking very strong, but when you play that aggressive, you play that up front, you leave yourself vulnerable to counterattacks, which can operate in the blink of an eye. When that one went out to midfield, I guarantee you that Fort Collins thought they had a little bit of room to breathe, but Vigil getting that double touch just completely took all the air out of their lungs. The good thing, though, 3 minutes remain here in this game. Plenty of time for Fort Collins to get back into this one, and they're not even really out of it yet, Rome. A 1-goal difference, a single mistake basically separates these two teams.
Oh, yes, exactly. Definitely not out of it yet, but they are going to need to find an answer very, very quickly, I must say, because this Rocky Mountain squad, they're going to try and build off of that momentum for sure. You can see they're letting their defense come into offense as the demo's coming out on Vigil, not going to be able to let him get anything started right there. You can see they are playing passive. They are playing the shell defense and letting them get these easy leak outs into offensive opportunities, and they're just waiting for their time to strike, and that is what you love to see from any level of Rocket League, is players that are patient, calm, collected, and waiting for the perfect opportunity. And as I say that, Vigil flying in, able to put that one in the back of the net yet again. My goodness, 2-0 for this Rocky Mountain team.
And this is why that patience is so incredible to see. A slow build on the offense, but eventually when the opportunity arrives, Vigil will strike their second goal of this game, and that's going to put the team up by 2 as well as we approach halftime. And right now, Rocky Mountain High School doing exactly what we were expecting of the team, but they're doing so in a little bit different of a fashion. When you usually come into this one with the greater seed, you have confidence, and that usually leads to a bit of an aggressive offense. There's none of that here, though. They're playing very patiently, very methodically, and waiting for their opportunities. And speaking of opportunities, they are going to push this one out to midfield here. It's a beautiful touch all the way out to mid, where Bolkerman is going to be waiting. Grardy to Bolker, the 1-2 combo, and all of a sudden, Rocky Mountain High School will go up by 3.
Man, oh man, able to find another one. They are starting to pour it in this game one. This is starting to get out of hand for this TPS squad. They're going to need to find a way to stop this Rocky Mountain team because they are looking absolutely incredible on the offense, on the defense. Everything is clicking, and I must say that is a big testament to their coaching, how they were able to come into this and play their game, getting off to an early lead. Like you said, not getting over aggressive, not feeling cocky. So big shout out to Chance, their coach, for being able to have this team completely ready for this game one. And that's going to be goal number 4 as Bolkerman going to be able to find yet another one. Man, oh man.
Oh my word, these passes in the final third here are so incredibly threatening. Fort Collins, like we said, they're a very aggressive team, so when they play that aggressive, when a good pass goes infield on their back half, they're getting a little bit surprised by it, and unfortunately, that's kind of the name of the game here in game number 1. When it's a feeling out period with both teams just kind of trying to see how each other is going to play, it seems like Rocky Mountain High School have understood how their opponents are playing just a little bit more. They've done a really good job at finding those gaps in the defense, putting shots on target when it counts, and it's led them to a 4-0 lead here with only about 80 seconds left in game number 1. At this point, I have to imagine, yeah, especially with a 5th goal going in by Grardy, that this is probably going to be a game that's just going to be washed away. Fort Collins got to start looking to the future at this point.
Man, yeah, you gotta try and get some type of positivity out of this game if you're Fort Collins, because right now, you know, it's not even 4 minutes in yet, and you're already down 5 goals. You gotta try and build something going into the next game, because as you said, this one is pretty much all said and done. This one has the Rocky Mountains name written all over it, and they're gonna be adding insult to injury as Grardy gonna be putting yet another one in the back of the net. My goodness.
You gotta also love the fact that the whole team is getting involved right now. At 2 goals apiece to every single player on the pitch, it quite literally is an even game from Rocky Mountain High School right now. The only separating factor at this point is I think Vigil is the only one with a hat trick in assists. I think that's a playmaker, if I'm not mistaken. But unfortunately for the other side here, Fort Collins don't have a single goal on the board. At this point, they're being shut out in this first game, 4 minutes of play. And I would say, aside from that first burst of offense we saw, we haven't really seen another offense from them in quite some time, Rome.
Yeah, exactly. They came out the gates extremely hot, looking to put that pressure onto this Rocky Mountain team. But hey, listen, when you are experienced, my goodness, Vigil, he is just showing off at this point. The 7th goal, lucky number 7. My goodness, what a beautiful goal out of him.
You gotta be kidding me. Musty flick into the flip reset, saves the flip reset until he basically hits the ground, baiting out the entirety of the defense. Vigil, we're not allowed to do that, my friend. We don't condone bullying. You can't be like that. That's just absolute filth in the box there. And Vigil really leading his team to victory here in game number 1. Like we said, 3 goals, 3 assists. Overall, a fantastic performance from Vigil, really doing a great job at dismantling this defense. And the big thing here is that I have to admit, Fort Collins High School, they're not playing bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just unfortunate. These little mistakes, these little openings are really what's separating these two teams.
Oh yeah, exactly, and little mistakes cannot be made, especially against a team as exceptional as the Rocky Mountain High School squad. Man, oh man, they're almost trying to get yet another one in, as this one is eventually going to be hitting the ground, but not after they put in another goal, number 8. My goodness, they're going to be ending it off with a bang.
Bulk just said, hey, listen, Vigil, I can't allow you to be the only one with a hat trick here. Puts in an 8th goal for the team, and, well, the results are the same nonetheless here. A dominant victory for Rocky Mountain High School here in game number 1. And, again, we're not too surprised to see this be the outcome here, but it's more the fact that there's just such a one-sided affair. For a game that felt pretty close most of the time, to see Fort Collins without being able to get a single goal on the board here, Rome, I gotta admit, it's rather surprising.
Yeah, exactly. Completely shut out. They weren't really able to get anything going on the offensive in that game. It looked promising in the first minute, but as you said, after that, it was pretty stale on that side, and it essentially became, all right, let's just try and stop the Rocky Mountain team. And they just couldn't at that rate. And we got to see right now in game 2, are they going to be able to shore up that defensive side and really make the adjustments necessary to really improve and try and get at least 1 goal on the board against this team?
I think that's the big thing here. It's baby steps, making sure to go one single foot after another and making sure that you just get that first goal on the board. I've seen insane series. I've seen series at a professional level in RLCS where a team goes down 0-7 in a game and then the next one they come back and win 3-1. So it's very weird. Rocket League is a game that's extremely volatile. It ebbs and flows, but depending on the momentum of the two teams here. So yes, an 8-0. It's rather in favor of Rocky Mountain High School here, but that's a good thing about having this little bit of a break in between matches here. Now all of a sudden Fort Collins can go back to the drawing board. They can go and talk to Coach Taylor, figure out what exactly is going on, how they can make the adjustments, and they can come back here in game 2, Rome, and give us a completely different flip of the script.
Oh yeah, exactly, and that is what we are hoping for, because let's be honest, we don't want to see a straight-up shutout. We're looking for a Game 7 as casters. That's what we're always trying to see. Oh my goodness, was almost able to get the first goal in just with about 5 seconds into the game. My goodness, already coming out firing.
Oh, and Bolker trying to punish on the other end. Not quite able to find that double touch, but man, that first goal would have been huge for the side of Fort Collins High School had they just been able to get a single one on the board. That is their first goal throughout this entire series, let alone the game. But maybe they can find something here, starting to build up an offense, with Vigil going to completely take it away. And actually, you're going to look to put a shot on target, just barely off, but Bolker there for the follow-up, forces Buddha to make the save. But my, oh my, again, this is what makes this Rocky Mountain High School side so threatening, Rome. In the blink of an eye, they go from complete defense to an offense that is electric.
Yes, it is almost somewhat like a cobra, just waiting to strike. They're just waiting in the winds. The defense is so good when they're in that little circle, but the second that they want to fully extend and strike with their teeth, they are so lethal, because, man, we know what this squad is capable of doing. I gotta say, though, props right now to Fort Collins for not letting them be able to score anything in the first minute, because that already is improvement on this past game.
Yeah, this is a huge game for Fort Collins at this point here. The fact that they have not let in that goal, the fact that the momentum just doesn't seem to be in favor of RMHS anymore. That's a big difference from this first game. This is actually kind of more what I was expecting from game number 1. The fact that we did see such an incredibly aggressive Fort Collins side is why I feel like we ended up getting such a one-sided game. They tried aggression. The aggression didn't work, and then they didn't really have a game plan to adjust to. So in game number 2 here, it's very clear they have made the adjustment, but are they enough? Shots ripping off for RMHS at this point. They're looking to try and open up that score line, but no such luck. Shots barely off target, and they'll have to go back to the drawing board for now.
Yeah, exactly. You can see the offense is starting to come out for this squad, but right now, you gotta say, Rocky Mountain, they are keeping cool, keeping composed, and they are still playing their game. You can see the opportunities are starting to be there for this TPS team. I gotta say, Rocky Mountain on the defensive side have just been absolutely impeccable. A lot of close calls, but nothing has been able to come through, and that's exactly what you want to see. We're about halfway through this game number 2, and we are at a 0-0 stalemate. Both teams flexing their defensive muscles right now.
And this is what you want to see out of game number 2, is you want to see these adaptations. You want to see this chess match between the two teams where they're kind of just waiting for this golden opportunity. That could have been the one there had Vigil not come cross court to make the save. But this is what I love from Rocket League, is that when you get into these stalemates, there are two ways that this ends. Either someone makes a defensive error and the other team capitalizes, or someone hits the nuttiest shot we've seen all day. Both options that I'd love to see at this point, so let's see which one it's gonna be. Buddha tries to have it be a nutty angle, but can't quite get it on target, and neither can the follow-up from Harry. But maybe they can keep this alive here. Down goes Bacon out of midfield, trying to get a good touch, and we'll find a touch, but I don't think it's going to keep this offense going. All of a sudden, it seems like RMHS are going to play this methodically, move into the offensive half, and as we get down to underneath 2 minutes play here, Rome, we're looking at a golden goal scenario. The next team to score could take it, and Visual knows that. He's making sure it's not his opponent's. Save on the line will keep the game alive for now.
Yeah, and I gotta say, the momentum is starting to switch over to this Fort Collins team right now. They are putting all this pressure on. They've had about 4 chances, 4 opportunities that have come within inches of going into the back of the net. They just need to find it. As early as 5 seconds into this game, it has been nonstop pressure onto this Rocky Mountain team, but they've done an excellent job on the defensive end, as we said, just letting their offense come to them, not looking for anything special. So many close opportunities with these crosses coming in, but yet again, gonna be cleared out, and like you said, we might be seeing a golden goal situation, might be only one that's needed to secure this victory.
The question is who gets that golden goal at this point? It really does feel like it's viable for either squad. I think it's a little bit more consistent in the side of Fort Collins right now, but as we mentioned in game number 1, that's where you start to get a little bit worried, is that if you get lulled into that full sense of security, all of a sudden RMHS are going to move in the blink of an eye into offense, and they do exactly that. By the time I started that sentence, they were on defense. By the time I ended it, they were up by 1.
Yeah, and that's all Vigil coming through, starting it off. He said, you know what? I don't need to pass this one to anyone but myself. I'm going to be putting this one in, getting this early lead. And as you said, that first goal, it can be oh so important, especially with only 25 seconds remaining. If you are the squad of Fort Collins right now, you've got to dig deep. You've got to use every bit of knowledge to be able to find something. My goodness, these opportunities are close. And yes, Grardy is going to be able to cap off that opportunity with a second goal, and that essentially is going to be the nail in the coffin for this game number 2 on the side of Fort Collins. Unfortunate for them.
Unreal offense is going to lead to probably another victory here. There's no guarantees. Maybe if we get 2 crazy kickoffs in a row, Fort Collins can get back into this one. But I got to say, Vigil really has been so clinical in this offense. Is he going to find yet another shot? That one rings off the post just like the first shot he had, or I guess the second one technically. Ended up gifting a goal over to Grade there. And, you know, his teammates got to be pretty happy about that. He's going, all right, don't worry. I'm not going to take all the offense for this game. Even if he attempts to, the results are going to be the same. RMHS take their second win in a row. And we talked about this pre-game here. Rome, this was an important start here for Fort Collins. Now, unfortunately, they've let the momentum go in favor of Rocky Mountain. And, well, we know what happens when Rocky Mountain gets that momentum.
Exactly. It was so close. I must say they improved drastically from the back half of that game number 1 into those first 4.5 minutes of game number 2. They looked absolutely incredible. Their defense was able to be there when they needed it. Their offense, they were able to create opportunities for themselves. They just weren't able to capitalize. And once that first goal from Vigil came through, it was all she wrote for this squad of Rocky Mountain. 2-0 heading into game number 3.
Well, let's see, can we get a switch up here? And, well, can we see the first goal now for the side of Fort Collins? Again, another shutout here has unfortunately left them with 10 minutes of gameplay without a single goal. And that's not for a lack of trying. They've been very close in multiple different instances so far here, Rome, but it feels like they're missing something, that little bit extra, that edge that's going to get them into this game. That edge for right now in RMHS's side, in my opinion, is Vigil. The star-studded striker is doing exactly what we expect, and they're not even just striking. They've been integral to this defense as well, and it really has boosted Rocky Mountain to this two-game start.
Oh yes, 100%. And Vigil, he knows what he can do on offense, but he also understands the importance of that defensive side. And sometimes when you're in high school, when you're so talented, sometimes you really just want to get out there, get a little bit too aggressive sometimes. And it seems like he's found that nice middle ground after playing at this level for already over a year now, as you stated. He's really coming into his own, and he's ready to make that next step. And hey, we all know it's after high school, college, baby.
Indeed, he's probably already eyeing up a couple of different colleges that he could be competing in. CRL at this point, and so many other different leagues, including some stuff here at PlayVS, which I recommend you guys go and check out. Really have opened the door for so many different kids to get these opportunities to continue with their Rocket League careers and esports careers in general. And I gotta say, Vigil's definitely one of those kids I'm gonna be looking at. As you mentioned, he took the championship last year. This whole squad took the championship last year, and since then, he's just been on a grind, taking semi-pro tournament after semi-pro tournament, and it's led him to be able to pick and prod at holes in the defense like this. It's barely a gap. This isn't even a tear in the pant leg of the defense, but it's enough for Vigil to score 1-0 in favor of Rocky Mountain High School.
Yeah, right there is essentially Vigil just pouncing on an opportunity. Like you said, there wasn't a real setup to that goal, wasn't really anything special to it. It was just Vigil getting that perfect timing, and that's exactly what you need. As you see the beautiful demo going to be coming out, making this offensive pressure possible. Now, what's going to be happening? Are they going to be able to clear it out? It appears so for now, but this could smell danger. We all know what Vigil's going to be able to do, man. So many crosses coming in from this Rocky Mountain High School squad. They are being able to find offensive plays out of nothing, it seems. So good on this defensive side, and you said the difference could be Vigil. But right now, the difference is finding a goal in itself, as they are still shut out. They are now 12.5 minutes into this series without them being able to find the back of the net. They have got to find something right now. Do this, Fort Collins squad.
We keep talking about this so many times, that just little edge at this point, that spark of life that is going to get the game going. The spark of life for right now continues to be Vigil. Another goal for this player, totaling now, I believe that's, 6 goals throughout this series? Pop off, my friend. Vigil, you are electric.
My goodness, he is putting on a show for us right now. He knows that this one's being broadcasted. He knows this is at LAN. This is where all the chips are on the table, and he is calling everybody's bluff right now as this squad is up 2-0, looking to take a commanding 3-0 game series lead, and we know how hard it can be to come back from a 3-0. We know the statistics are not pretty. So right now, if you're Fort Collins, you have to find a goal, find some offense somewhere, find a way to break through the cracks of this Rocky Mountain defense, because guess what? They are not letting up anything right now, and they are looking poised to take home another championship.
They're looking fantastic as we move into the back half here of game number 3. And like we said, it's going to be rather difficult here. Rome, you highlighted, they go down here. It's a 3-0 in favor of RMHS here. And unfortunately, a 3-0 means that they have to reverse sweep in a best of 7. It's possible, but it's extremely unlikely. You rarely see those in Rocket League because they have to not only get one good game. They have to then get another one, and then they have to get another one, and then another one. And as much as that doesn't seem too complicated, it's the fact that they can't drop a game in any of those 4 shots. It's a difficult task, but the thing is we're not quite at that task yet. 76 seconds remain here, and if Fort Collins can find a goal, they might be able to stay in this one, but Vigil is trying to keep them out. Hat trick for the star-studded striker, and Rocky Mountain High School will go up by 3.
Man, oh man, he is wearing every single hat today. Doesn't matter if it's a snapback, top hat. Doesn't matter. He's getting that hat every single time. And 3-0 already. All the goals going to be going over to Vigil. He is absolutely doing incredible today, and you can see it right there. They tried to make something on the offensive side. At Fort Collins, they got super aggressive on that offensive end, and it ended up biting them yet again. Man, I gotta give it to this Rocky Mountain squad. They are playing perfect defense, just letting that defense turn into offense. They have not overstepped whatsoever. I gotta say, they are essentially playing perfect Rocket League.
That's the biggest issue right now is that, Vigil, come on now, you can't make that save. What on earth? That's the issue right now, is that they're just playing at their peak here. RMHS came into this one with a game plan, and they are executing upon it perfectly, and that's what makes this all the more difficult here, is that Fort Collins not only need to try and get a little bit of extra offensive momentum for their team, they also need to slow down their opponents. It feels like they are just continuing to build more and more momentum on the side of RMHS here. This may not be an 8-0. It doesn't really matter, though. The results are still the same. This is going to be 15 minutes now without a single goal for Fort Collins. And again, they really should have a goal. They've come incredibly close. The only reason they don't is because Vigil has made an on-the-line save more times than I can count.
Yeah, Vigil has done an absolutely incredible job. Grardy said, let me get in on some of the fun as well before this one is over. Man, oh man. They are just having a blast right now. You can tell, I'm sure, they're hyped up. They're high-fiving each other. They're feeling extremely, extremely good. They're going to be taking a 3-0 series lead in this best of 7, and you know what that means. They are on series point.
Yep, indeed. And now, unfortunately for Fort Collins, that dreaded scenario that we had spoken about has arrived. It's reverse sweep time. They want to try and get this one done. They need 4 straight in a row. And as you look back upon the replays here of game number 3, you can understand why that's a difficult task. Again, these transitions out of Rocky Mountain here, I don't think we can emphasize them enough. They move from defense into offense in the blink of an eye.
Oh, yes, exactly. They did incredible that entire, honestly, all 3 games, it seems, of just letting their offense come to them naturally, not forcing anything. And you can see once they're able to use that defense to be able to score a goal off the offense created, you can see they are putting the other team on its heels, and they're having to put more offensive pressure, which is able to just let them keep on racking up these goals over and over, because guess what? You get straight up open goals if you're triple committing, double committing all the time, and that's exactly what they're forcing this Fort Collins to do.
That's the thing, is that we talk about this a lot, Roman. I gotta hope that as we get in game number 4 here, this doesn't seem as prevalent, but it's that hero mentality. The, oh no, I was gonna say, the idea that we aren't playing all that great beforehand, so let's try and force some offense. No offense is forced here. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit of a kickoff gone awry, and Fort Collins already gonna go down by 1.
Yeah, Grardy able to get the beautiful kickoff goal. Only 3 seconds into this one. TPS already going to be fighting on their heels this entire game now. Just an unfortunate start for them. Definitely not the way that they wanted to start it out. But hey, listen, if you're this Rocky Mountain squad, you're trying to come in not dropping a game all tournament. And listen, when you are going up against the best high schools all across Colorado, and your high school is able to beat all the top 32 teams out of 166, my goodness, and not drop a map an entire tournament to become the champions. I gotta give it to them. That is an absolute incredible feat that I'm not sure will ever be done, has ever been done. If it has, big props to them, because they are setting records here today.
I am not aware of it, at least not at a high school or collegiate level. The closest I can think about is in RLCS this season, where a team in APAC, I think, got 2 games away. They literally got to the grand final second set and they couldn't get it done. So if they can get this done, does that mean that Rocky Mountain High School is better than an RLCS team? Well, that's up for you guys to decide, but it's not really important right now. What is important are the next 4 minutes of this game, because if Rocky Mountain High School can hold on to this lead, they're most likely going to take this one, and they're going to take it all the way to a championship. So now or never, Fort Collins need to try and pull together everything they've been working on. And the truth is, they have gotten better here. I think we can, oh my word, all admit that they've gotten stronger as the series has continued. And if they get an own goal on their opponent's half, I think that could also help them become stronger.
Yes! Oh, man, Vigil was almost able to set it up perfect for Bulker, man, but he wasn't able to redirect it in. My goodness, almost another offensive opportunity. But yes, like you said, that was almost an own goal, and that might have been exactly the momentum that this Fort Collins squad needed. Oh, man, but unfortunately, they're not able to put it in yet again. Going to be back on the defensive side is the Rocky Mountain squad. And, hey, listen, we already know they can play amazing defense, as they have not let one goal come through yet in this series.
It has been almost 18 minutes of play without a single goal going in for this Fort Collins side. Maybe they can get something here. They got a quick transition. They've got an awkward defense, but of course Vigil's going to find some confidence from the backboard there. Why would it be an awkward defense when he can make plays like that? Clears it all the way out to midfield, alleviates a ton of pressure, and now really just starts to waste time, because with half the game remaining, and no, not a 2-goal lead! RMHS are looking to close this one out. They almost had a little bit of a safety net there, Rome, but now all of a sudden the door has been opened. One single goal separates these teams, and that's all Fort Collins need to focus on right now.
Yes, Vigil, he is feeling like Kyrie out there. He's crossing everybody out of their shoes, was almost able to put that second one in. And like you said, that second goal, it is so important. Like you said, that little buffer that you have, knowing that you got a little bit of breathing room, can be so important. And right now, we're just going to honestly see this squad just play this shell defense that they have been doing such a good job at this entire series. They don't need to do anything special. Let the offense come to you. You don't need to end up pushing the issue too much and then getting an open net on your back end. Just keep on looking for opportunities just like that from Grardy. Because, listen, there are holes in this TPS team, and they're looking to find them at every opportunity possible. Only a minute and 30 seconds remain for this TPS squad to find a goal if they don't want to give over the championship right now to this squad in Rocky Mountain High School.
They're getting very close. They're getting a lot of good pressure here, but pressure is one thing. A shot on target is another, and it's been quite some time since Fort Collins has found that. And I gotta say, this would be a heartbreaking way for this one to go out, especially if it's a 1-goal difference. But now, all of a sudden, it is not. Vigil is gonna find a goal, and Boko will find the assist. And they might have just found the dagger here in this series.
Man, oh man, that's not even a dagger, that's a full-on sword, because guess what? Still not one goal has come in on the side of TPS, so I gotta say, I don't know what this team is doing in this Rocky Mountain squad on this defensive side, but it is absolutely impeccable. They have impressed me to as much as you can impress me, simply because they haven't given up a goal. Like, you can't play better defense than that. There's nothing else to say about this squad. Absolutely incredible job from head to toe. Everyone, every single player, even the coaches, shout out to them for an absolutely incredible run in this tournament so far. They're looking to add insult to injury as they're looking for every opportunity. Bulker, man, Grardy, they're looking for shots themselves. They said, you know what, we might play the midfield, might play the defense, but we want to get in on the fun that Vigil has been having.
Oh my gosh, Bulker! Cross-court flip reset through the air. He saw his teammate up and he went, yeah, no, Grardy, this is mine. Slams this one into the back of the net. The perfect little touch underneath the bar. And I think that's going to be curtains on that one. 30 seconds left here. And barring a miracle, unfortunately, it looks like Fort Collins are going to get swept here. And they're not just going to get swept. They're possibly going to get perfect swept as a 4th goal now comes in here for this RMHS side. I don't know the last time I saw a perfect sweep, especially not in a best of 7, and definitely not a best of 7 perfect sweep in the grand finals. To say that RMHS played a good game here would be underselling it to the nth degree. Congratulations to them. They played out of their freaking skulls and deserve everything from this win.
yes, 110%. They will be your champions, and big props to them, like I said, on the backs of that defensive prowess. If you're another team in Colorado, if you're another high school looking at this squad saying, hey, we'll be able to take them out, guess again, because this squad is absolutely impeccable. And just like that, they are going to be your champions. Watch this. Once this one hits the ground, there we go, RMHS. They are going to be taking it all. They are your champions.
Congratulations to Rocky Mountain High School. They are your Play versus Rocket League CHSAA champions. Congratulations on taking the Colorado State Championship home. You guys played incredible. I don't think we can emphasize that any further here, Rome. This was everything we were hoping for from this Rocky Mountain side. Fort Collins, unfortunately, probably had to pick up a couple of pieces in a couple of places and weren't quite able to do so, but they still played an incredible game nonetheless, giving it their all, throwing everything that they had at their opponents. And, well, the unfortunate truth is that at the end of the day, there can only be one winner, but that's fortunate for one side. Congratulations to Rocky Mountain High School. You are the champions, and a very well-deserved champion at that.
Yes, you can see lit up orange Rocky Mountain High School. Those Lobos, they're going to be celebrating tonight as they are your champions for the entire state. Man, you talk about bragging rights. That is the epitome of it, as this squad, man, they look absolutely incredible, and I'm sure that next season they're going to be looking to do the exact same thing with a repeat performance. Gotta hand it to Vigil, though. I gotta say, out of everyone, he has got to be my MVP for today, for the tournament. His prowess on defense, offense, it was all incredible.
He was just everywhere there, and to further emphasize just how incredibly well he played individually, I believe this is a total of 8 goals for this player alone. The combination of goals from everybody else, by the way, in the lobby, including his teammates, 8 goals. He literally had as many goals as the rest of the team, his 2 teammates combined. Vigil was electric. He was everything this team was hoping for, both on offense and defense, both. But we also do have to highlight the other players playing with him there. Grardy, or Grade E, as we have him labeled down, as well as Bulker there, both played incredibly as well, picking up on average basically at least a goal a game between one of them, if not at least an assist a game between them. So you got to give credit where it's due. It's not just the fact that Vigil showed up here today. It's the fact that the team showed up. Rome, all 3 players played out of their minds, and they deserve this win wholeheartedly.
Oh, yes, you couldn't have said it better. I completely agree. Like you said, doesn't matter how good you are, you still need a surrounding cast to be able to let you shine in the way that you do. And I got to give a big props to PlayVS for being able to put this entire thing on, letting these high schoolers showcase their talents, because guess what? These are some of the best high school Rocket League players that we have today, and it is just an absolute pleasure casting them. PlayVS has done an amazing job yet again.
100%. And well, if you guys want to see some more from PlayVS, just make sure to hit that follow button down below. Keep track of everything that is going on, because we don't just have Rocket League. We've got a lot of other stuff going on. LOL, Fortnite, a ton of other esports titles. So you guys are going to have to stay tuned, because, well, that's the end of this day. Rome, it was a pleasure hopping in the booth with you, my friend. Hopefully we get to do this again soon. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Maybe we'll see each other here on the screen sometime soon. But you guys are going to have to find out. For myself, for Rome, for all the people behind the scenes here at PlayVS, we want to thank you for tuning in here today, and we will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your Friday, and have a good one.
so tough, but minds keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch mine, please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the. Wake up, get out the sheets. We came for war, man, forget my peace. You take the west, I take on the east. I'ma put them in the cage, never let out the. Yeah, I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man so tough, but mans keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls, let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch mine, please use caution. Beg, please get on your knees. Came from the